Good morning to all. On behalf of Organizing Committee, Faculty of Pharmacy, Ramaya University of Applied Sciences, Bangalore, I extend warm welcome to all the participants of the webinar, Tips and Tricks to Crack GPAT and NIPER by the speaker, Dr. G. Saravanan, Professor and Head, Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry, MNR College of Pharmacy. So I would like to begin this session with a simple, insightful quote. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated. So participation in this webinar itself is one such small effort towards achieving success. I would like to invite our HOD, Dr. Harish Kumar, for the welcome address. Harish, sir?
Okay.
Yes, sir, you can start.
Good morning, Dr. G. Saravanan, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
It's a great pleasure and awesome day today. Why? Because it is a very important topic. We are having a webinar that is tips and tricks to crack GPAT and NIPER. And this is a wonderful golden opportunity for final year BPharm students and third year BPharm students also, and even the passed out students also. So you are sharing a very important title of the topic, that is GPAT and NIPER, how to crack the exam. Because once they have cleared these exams, they'll get stipend and complete their research in post graduation, and further it'll be a big credit to go for PhD also. This is one part like that, and of course even our mainly those who are in final BPharm in our college in Faculty of Pharmacy, they are going to benefit. It is a golden opportunity for them. This type of webinar, it is a, I don't know how to speak like that. They have to utilize it properly and get the maximum benefits from that. So with this small talk, I like to invite you, sir, and you are giving a wonderful enlightenment about this topic. Further, this platform is a very good. It is a very good platform. You are invited, and it is a right time. This we have started. Another next 3 months, these exams will be there. GPAT exams will be there. So with this small talk, and you are taking your precious time in giving this webinar and all those things. Thank you once more, sir. It's my pleasure and awesome day it is.
Thank you, Harish sir, for the welcome address. Now I would like to invite Mrs. Vijay Banu, Assistant Professor, Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry, Faculty of Pharmacy, MS Ramaya University of Applied Sciences, to introduce our esteemed speaker, Dr. G. Saravanan. Vijay Banu, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. A very good morning to all of you. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce the speaker for today's webinar, Dr. G. Saravanan. Dr. G. Saravanan has obtained bachelor's degree in pharmacy and master's degree in pharmaceutical chemistry from Tamil Nadu Dr. MGR Medical University. He has been awarded Doctor of Philosophy in Pharmaceutical Sciences from Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University, Hyderabad. He has filed 2 patents, published 79 research papers in peer-reviewed national and international journals. He has presented 89 papers in various conferences. He has guided 33 PG and 10 UG projects. He has received Best Teacher Award and Best Researcher Award in the year 2018 and Best Achiever Award in the year 2019. He has won Best Paper Award 6 times. Currently, Dr. G. Saravanan is a professor and head of department in the Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry in MNR College of Pharmacy, Telangana. It gives us immense pleasure to have you with us today, sir, and we welcome you, sir.
And thank you, Vijayabhanu ma'am, for the introduction to the speaker. Sir, you can start now.
Thank you, madam. So first of all, very good morning to one and all. And it's my pleasure to thank the convener, Dr. S. Bharat sir, and the coordinator, Dr. D.R. Harish Kumar sir, and Dr. P. Parasuraman, and other organizing members for giving this valuable and wonderful opportunities to interact with the young pharma buddies. So, as rightly told by Harish sir, so this is a right time to discuss about this particular topic, because within 3 months the people's young pharma buddies are going to face their GPAT examinations. So definitely this webinar will give you an eye-opening session for that GPAT and NAPER aspirants for GPAT 2022. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
I think the slide is changing now, madam.
Sir, it's still in the first slide.
Now the content slide was
Yes,
not
sir. Now it is visible, sir. Content slide is visible. Yes, sir. Can continue, sir. Thank you, sir.
So today we are going to discuss about what is GPAT and what is NAPER, and how we have to prepare for these GPAT and NAPER, and what is the format of GPAT and what is the pattern of the GPAT, and what strategies we should follow to get a score in the GPAT examination or to grab a better score in the GPAT examinations, and statistics. That is a very important thing. When we are analyzing anything, then only we came to know where we are lacking and what we can do further. So for that purpose, I'm giving statistics from the previous years of GPAT examination, and which subject I have to study, sir, which subject I have to concentrate. That is $1 million question that every students are having in their mind. So shall I have to concentrate more on chemistry or ecology or zootics like that? So subject wise weightage based on my experience I'm giving. And what is the format for an NAPER and what is the pattern for an NAPER examination? How NAPER is differ from GPAT examination, and my tips and tricks for facing this GPAT and NAPER, and what are all the important topics we can concentrate on each subject, and what are all the things we should do and we should not do in the GPAT examinations. So first we want to know what is GPAT and NAPER. Who is conducting this examination? Yes, if I am getting on a score, if I am qualified in a GPAT and NAPER, what benefit I can get? So these are all the very basic things. Without knowing these things, if you are entering in the things, it is not useful. So GPAT, the abbreviation people may already aware of that. That is a graduate pharmacy aptitude test. Who is conducting this particular test? So till 2018, this was conducted by AICTE, that is All India Council for Technical Education. But from 2019 onwards, this GPAT examination is conducted by NTA, that is National Testing Agency. And this GPAT examination is a national level, all India level entrance examination for entry into a postgraduate degree in a pharmacy, such as M-Pharma and Pharma MBA program. And these national testing agencies will come under the Ministry of Human Resource Development. For what purpose they are conducting that Ministry of Human Resource Development in India? So to select a suitable pharmacy graduates, because we know nowadays there are hundreds of pharmacy colleges in each and every state. Every year there are thousands and thousands of pharma graduates, UG graduates are coming out. So from that, we want to select a suitable pharmacy graduates for the admission into that master program, that is M-Pharmacy. So this GPAT examination is a 3 hours CBT. That is computer-based online test. Few scholarships and you can get on a financial assistance in the field of pharmacy if you have on a GPAT score. This GPAT score is accepted throughout the India, universities, colleges, all those things. And those colleges or institutions, those who are accepting this GPAT score, we can call them as a participating institution of GPAT. And what you are going to face in the coming year is GPAT 2022. But the only thing is what means, once you got on a GPAT score, yes, you are eligible, but only thing you should apply each and every institute separately. There is no common application mode. So one university, if you want to apply for a 10 university, means 10 university individually you have to apply. That each institution, individual institutions, they have their own pro forma for selection of your candidates. And majority of the university, based on the GPAT score examination, even state level entrance examination is also there, means they will give first preference to this GPAT qualifier only. Once that GPAT ranker was completed, then only they will go ahead with that state level rank. And some of the institutions, along with this GPAT score, they will conduct a group discussion as well as a personal interview also. But the major portion of the marks will be given to your GPAT score only. So for example, 75% GPAT score, remaining 25% for group discussion and personal interview. Then based on that, they will release a separate list of candidates. So once you got on a GPAT score, what is your thing is, you must identify which institute I can join. I'm having GPAT score this much, so which institute is suitable for me? Like that, you have to analyze and you have to apply that particular institutions. So it is better to read the details of the admission process, whether that the institution you are applying, whether they are conducting any personal interview or whether group discussion, all those things you must be aware before you apply itself. And the second thing is NIPER, National Institute of Pharmacy Education and Research. So who are all eligible for these GPAT and NIPER? For GPAT, the B Pharmacy completed graduates or final year B Pharmacy students. So these two are only eligible. Oh, sir, if I am studying in a third B Pharmacy, I am not eligible. Means definitely you are not eligible. But that is that third year. If you are in third year, it is the time to start your GPAT preparations. How? What is the plan? How I can plan for a GPAT and NIPER, sir? Yes. So there is a major difference, GPAT and NIPER. So which one I can concentrate, sir? Starting itself, shall I concentrate for NIPER? Means my suggestion is not, because if you want to apply for a NIPER examination, you must be a GPAT qualifier. So that means if you are GPAT qualifier, then only you can eligible to apply a NIPER. So hence, initially, my sincere suggestion to all of you is first concentrate on GPAT, because this is the gateway for your NIPER examinations. Once you qualified in GPAT, then you are eligible to apply for a NIPER. The major difference, if you want to tell subject wise, in GPAT examination, they will analyze your deep subject knowledge. Each and every subject what you are studying in all 4 years of B Pharmacy, your deep subject knowledge will be analyzed by GAT exam, the GPAT examinations. Whereas in case of a NIPER, your basic knowledge about the subject will be tested. Particularly as I am a chemist, that your stereochemical knowledge, organic and analytical chemistry, like that, the basic subject. Anyway, in the coming slides, I will tell you what are all the different subjects, how the questions will come, all those things we will discuss. But this is the initial things what we must know about GPAT and NIPER. So from my experience that I was here categorized in 9 different subjects, which are based on simple to difficult. So how, sir, you are telling that medicinal chemistry is not difficult? That is from a majority of the students' mentality that I was analyzed, categorized here. So first starting from pharmacognosy, then pharmacology, pharmaceutical analysis, and pharmaceutical calculation, pharmaceutical jurisprudence, biochemistry, microbiology, biotechnology, pharmaceutics. It includes all pharmaceutic subjects, then clinical pharmacy and medicinal chemistry. And majority of the students, they may feel that chemistry, that it is difficult, but as a chemist, I can tell you, if you understand that one, that is the very, very easy subject and you can easily score the marks. We can go in depth about GPAT. How many questions are they will ask? How much time I have to write that exam, sir? Okay, for all those things, this particular slide will answer. What is the format and pattern of the GPAT? As I already told, it is a computer-based online test. You have to write that the duration of that exam is 3 hours, that is nothing, 180 minutes. The type of questions generally in university and semester examination, we are writing on we have to answer for short answers, long answers like that. But in GPAT examination, there is no need for writing that such type of a big one. It is all are multiple choice questions only. Total number of questions is 125 questions only. For each correct answers, the mark is 4 marks they are awarding. So 125 questions totally, each question is 4 marks. The total marks for the 3 hours you are going to attempt is 500. The thing you must concentrate here is wrong answers, because such type of systems you people are not faced in your semester examinations. If you are wrongly answered, yes, they will simply keep wrong. They will not reduce the marks. But this is the most important thing you must keep in your mind. There is a negative marking system in that GPAT. 25% of the correct mark, 25% of the 4, that is 1. If you are wrongly answered on any one questions, your mark will be come down 1. They will reduce 1 mark from your total score. In case I don't know that answer, sir, what can I do? In that case, you can leave the questions. If you leave the questions, you will not get a mark, as well as you will not also lose the marks. So if you are not attempted any questions, there is no negative marks. They will allot 0. So before going into that exams, you keep in mind that if you are wrongly answered, you are having a negative marks. Strategies and statistics. What strategies can I follow to get a GPAT score? So syllabus. What is the syllabus for this GPAT examination? Whatever you are studying in your B Pharmacy from your first year to final year, as per new PCI syllabus, that all your 4 years B Pharmacy syllabus. Yes, 4 years you are studying, that is definitely a vast subject only. But you are not studying anything newly. Whatever you had already studied in your first B Pharm, second B Pharm, third B Pharm. So that only, if you are in third year, that anyway you are not eligible. When you are in final year only, you are eligible. So all third year you got already studied. Only thing that final year subject you have to make up and you have to write these examinations. So as from my experience, minimum of a 7-month preparation is must for your GPAT examinations. This is very minimum. 7 months of your preparation is needed for GPAT. But it may be vary from person to person, but these are average things. If you have a thorough and basic knowledge about the pharmacy subjects, then you can easily get a score in the GPAT. And earlier I was listed out the subject weightage from a easy to a tough, but here you look main subjects. There are 4 major subjects: pharmacology, pharmaceutics, pharmacognosy, and pharmaceutical chemistry. So you should start the preparation with these major subjects. So Saravanan sir told only these 4 subjects. Can I leave the other subjects? That is also not advisable. Even never leave your easy subjects. Why these easy subjects are also important means you can get direct question from these easy subjects only. When you are getting a direct questions, it is the easy way to score a marks, because as I told that it is an all India level competitive examination. Anyway, in the coming slides, you people came to know how many people are applying every year and to how many people who are competing. So when everybody is able to answer to that particular questions, and if you are unable to answer, that means everybody will get 4 marks, but you will get -1. Then that means what? From all the pupils, you are back 5 marks. So we should never leave that easy subject, because we will get a direct question from these subjects such as pharmaceutical, jurisprudence, dispensing and other calculations. So 7 months I told. Why are 7 months? So this is the way how you have to plan in that 7 months. So this is what the plan I suggested to my students. So whatever the subject which was there, the total number of subject I calculated is 18 subjects. And in these 18 subjects, there are hundreds of your subtopics are there. So every day minimum you should go get for a preparation of 5 hours. And in this subject wise, for every subject you can take a 9 days preparation time. Okay, so in these 9 days, okay, you can able to complete on a what is that, in the month 30 days. In that each subject 9 days means you can able to complete a 3 subject, 18 total subjects. In that per 9 days I'm telling on a 1 subject, so 1 month you can able to complete a 3 subjects, and remaining 3 to 4 days in that month, that can be you can utilize to take a break, or you can use for any modification. If you missed your schedule, you can make up that one. So like that 3 subjects per month, like that for 18 subjects you need on a 6 months minimum. Then after that remaining 1 month, or what can I do? That is the most crucial period. Okay, that is needed for your revision. In that 30 days, 12 days you can spend for a revision. The next 10 days you can spend for your solving a model paper or your previous year question papers. And the last 8 days which is needed for a final revision. Again I am telling, this is the very crucial period. That last 1 month you should revise only in those months. So totally 6 plus 1 month, 7 months preparation plan. This is. If some of you people are telling, no sir, I am a somewhat weaker students, I can't able to follow this 7 months, then what can I do, sir? Then you can go ahead with this 1 year study plan. So in that first 6 to 8 months, you should concentrate on completing your syllabus. You should carefully study the syllabus. Take a standard textbook and study. Don't go ahead with simply that multiple choice question papers book like those things. Standard book you can take and prepare. Study the fundamental concept and understand each and everything, because this is the period, even though if you are going slow also, you can understand that concept. That will help you in the final revisions. Make a schedule and monitor your progress. Yes, as I told, sir told in the webinar, we need to make a timetable. Yes, timetable you are making morning, that 5 to 7 study hours, this particular topic, like that evening, all those things you are doing. But if you are not following, or if you can't be able to manage with that one, so that's why you should monitor your progress. Depends upon that you can alter your schedules. Form a easy methods to answer your questions, because we have on so many classifications, so many drug molecules, for all those things, structure, mechanism, side effects, all those things we should remember. How I can remember? That's why we should have on a tricks we must have. So you form a easy methods that I will explain in the coming slides, and solve as many as possible sample problems, because once you are studied, usually when I was studying my UG and PG also, I followed these methods only. Usually I will go ahead with that syllabus I will keep and take a book and I will complete top to bottom. After completion of every topic, what I will do means, I will previously itself I will collected on old question papers. Then in that old question paper, minimum 5 to 10 years I will collect. In that 5 to 10 years, after collecting, the first thing once I was entered in any semester, what I will do means, collect that old question papers and from that question papers, syllabus, keeping a syllabus, and this one unit wise, what are all the questions they get asked in that last 10 years, I will write it and I will file that one. Then when I was going to study unit 1, yes, I will study the things. After completion, I will take the question paper and unit 1 I will look whether I can able to answer for all these questions or not. Yes, if I can, then I will get on a confidence. In case if I am unable to answer any questions, then I will go get depth. Why? Where I was missed that one, then I will study that particular one. So that is the way you should follow for this GPAT examination also. So when you are solving the question paper, then only you will get on a confidence. Final 3 months, what I can do, sir? That is go ahead with previous question papers. Once you prepare, then only you should go, because without preparing, if you are going, there is no use. And definitely every people will have on a weak points. One, I'm having on a weak subject knowledge in a chemistry. The another people may weak in that pharmacology. The other people may weak in that calculation part. So if we are weak means we should not avoid that one. We should concentrate more on that one. So we should focus on our weak spots. And final month, you look, all our revisions. We should revise, because 11 months before you studied, then if you are not revising, you will not get the things. So we should revise that one and start with that important topics you can revise first. Then you can concentrate on your weak spot during your revision also. And we should practice more and more. So this is the 1 year study plan for your average students. Yes. Now coming to that statistics. What's previously itself you are telling cutoff marks, GPAT score. What is that one? I'm not understanding. What is cutoff mark? It is nothing but a minimum qualifying mark. So if you are taken this minimum mark, then only you can tell that you are qualified in that particular competitive examinations. So minimum qualifying mark in that GPAT, that only generally we will call that one as a cutoff marks. So if you got that minimum marks, then only you are eligible for admission into that postgraduate pharmacy courses. And this is the statistics. From 2013, general category, this whatever the cutoff mark I was given in this slide is here, general category, open category marks. 2013 to 2017, you look, out of 500, only 112 to 118, that is the cutoff mark. That means out of 500, if you scored 112, you are eligible. You got on a score, you are eligible for M-Pharmacy in those participating institutions. And you look, gradually it was increased. 2017 to 18, you look, 19 marks it was increased. 118 to 137. The 19 you look, further 4 mark increased, cutoff marks. In 2020 you look, 22 marks are increased from 141 to 160. That means what? In 2019, if you scored 141, you are qualified. But in the same 141 mark, if you scored in 2020, you are not qualified. So that is every year the cutoff mark will change. Later I will tell you what are all the factors which is affecting these cutoff marks. And last year you look, 23 marks are changed. From 163, the cutoff came to 186. Now in 2022, what cutoff I can expect? Based on these statistics, I am expecting the minimum cutoff will come around 210. So this is the first year that we are expecting that cutoff mark will cross 200. That cutoff mark was gradually increasing. So what it indicates, you people must put more efforts if you want to score GPAT. So this is the category wise. So there I told general category. Only general category it is increasing, sir? No, it is all categories. Whether you are belonging to OBC or SC, ST or economically weaker sections. All category you look, it was increasing. So here, only last year data I was compared. 2020, what is the cutoff score? In 2021, what is the cutoff score? And how many candidates are qualified in 2020 and how many candidates they are qualified in 2021? And what is the changes in the marks compared to 2020? So in general category, 23 marks are increased. In OBC, 21 marks. From 131, it was increased to 152. In SC, from 103, 11 marks increased to 114. And from ST, from 76, it was increased to 87. An economically weaker section, 104 to 155. You look, drastic change in this economically weaker section. Okay, so keep those things in mind and you can accordingly plan how you have to prepare for your examinations. Why, sir, this is changing? Why this cutoff score is changing? You are telling, sir, 114, 1 year he is eligible, next year same mark I was scored, how I was not eligible? If you are asking these questions, there are number of factors which can determine these cutoff marks. The major factor is how many number of candidates are appearing in that examination. So that is the first factor. And how many seats are available and difficulty level of examination. So in case if when you are facing the things, if the question was very difficult, don't feel, my dear students, if that question is difficult, your cutoff mark score will come down. The question is very easy, then the cutoff score will increase. So by looking at question paper itself, don't get on a tense. Think that the question should come as a difficult, then only what? Your cutoff score will come down. And which category you are getting or you are applying for that admissions. So when that number of seats are increasing, available seats are increasing, automatically what will happen? The cutoff level will come. When more seats are available, the cutoff score will come down. And if seats are less, then automatically the cutoff score will go up. When that number of applicants is increasing, automatically the score will also increase because you have to competing with more pupils. This is a last year statistics. Why, sir, this one is needed? You must know you are competing with how many pupils. So in your university or in your institutions, that you may be a topper, class topper or college topper or university topper. That means what? Among that 60 people or 100 people, you are the topper. But when you are coming to on a GPAT, you are not competing with that 100 pupils. You are competing with almost, you look, last year, 45,500 pupils are attended that examinations. This is appeared candidates, this is applied candidates. So among 45,000 you are competing. In that 45,000 you look, if you are dividing into 100, like you, so many toppers are competing. Okay, so then we must think how much effort we should put. So last year 47,000, almost 48,000 people are registered and attended candidates are 45,500. This is category wise, how many people, how many male, female, all those data are there in this slide. And this one is in 2020 statistics. Look again, 50,000. Last time due to pandemic, the number was slightly less. In previous year, 50,700 applied and appeared are 48,360. Elaborately, we can go over with last year's statistics. Among these 45,500 people, how many people are qualified in that examination? Look, only 4,447. That means approximately 10% of the students only qualified in that last year GPAT 2021. That means what? You must be in a top 10%. Then only you are eligible. Among that 50,000 people are applied, competing. Only 5,000 people they will select. So whether you want to be in that 5,000 or you want to be in the rest of 45,000, it is in your hand only. And what is the cutoff marks for general category? Highest mark. Look, first top scorer, first rank holder, the GPAT 2021, not got 500 out of 500, not get 490 out of 500, like what we are getting in our university examination, 98%, 95%, more than 90, even not 90%, 450 also. Only 500 if you are looking, it is on only 70% is the top. Then you think about how much hard this particular examinations, how they may ask your questions. And economically weaker section, 155 to 185, OBC 150 to 185, SC 114 to 185, ST 87 to 183. So based on your marks, they will give you a rank. Generally, we will call it as A rank, All India rank. So this is the formula they will calculate to get a NTA score. So 100 into how many candidates are attended that particular examination minus how many people are better than you. If you are 220 All India rank, better than you 219 people are there. So that one divided by total number of candidates appeared. Whatever you are getting, that is your NTA score. Generally in the GPAT scorecard itself, it will come. So this is the model scorecard, what you will get it. This is the scorecard what they got given gave in that 2020-21. So you have all your personal details, what you got to enter, your application number, what is your roll number, what is your name, what is your mother name, father name, which category you are applying, which gender, and whether you are persons with disability or not, what is your date of birth and your nationality and which state, and maximum marks what you are obtained. Maximum marks here, what is 500 marks you are attending that exams, and what is your NTA score, and what is your All India rank, they will mention here itself. And the most important thing here, you look, validity of your score, 3 years only it is valid. Score is valid only for 3 years. How much mark you are getting in the WAD they will give. Similarly, your NTA score also they will give in a WAD, and this is the qualifying marks. In each category, what is the qualified marks? In general category, what is? In OBC category, what is? In SC category, what is? And in ST category, what? All those things that may given in your GPAT scorecard. This is the scorecard of GPAT 2020. Look, maximum marks 500, and your obtained marks. The candidate obtained 184. Okay, what is that? Cut-off marks. Everything they will given in your scorecard itself. So this is the actually last year data I was tried, but I didn't get. That's why that 2020 ranks I was taken and I was analyzed here. Why is this one? From that what I can understand. Even one excess mark will make how much difference in your ranking. To understand that only I was giving these statistics. Look here. The topper in the 2020, 315. But in 2021, I told it is what? 359. Look how much 1 year it was changed. But in the same year, the person who got 8th rank, his mark is what? Only 293. You look the difference between the rank number 1 and rank number 8. 22 marks are different. That means when you are in a top, even though if you have a 22 marks difference between you, the top rank are only on a 7 members are there. But the same thing you come here, look, rank number 328, look mark 213, 500 rank you look 200. The difference is what? 13 marks. Here 13 marks difference. But the persons, how many people are there? You look here. almost here 100 and here 72. 172. The difference is only 13 marks, but in between the 13 marks, 172 people are there. But here you look, 22 marks difference, but only 7. So hence, each and every 1 mark or 0.5 mark will make a huge difference in your ranking, my dear students. Even because of 0.5, I know some of my students are lost their qualifier, that score also. So don't take that one, only 1 mark. Now what? If that particular question, if I am attempted wrong, what will happen? Don't think like that. Even 1 mark, 0.5 mark, that will make you a huge difference. So if you are in this below bottom, that makes a huge difference. So if you don't want to come in this category, you must be in the topper positions. How, sir, I can be in the topper positions? Yes. For that only I am giving you a strategy, my dear students. Always I suggest to my students, don't try to attempt all 125 questions. No need of attempting all 125 questions. You can aim to attempt more questions, but no need. If you have a confidence that you can attempt, but if you don't have a confidence, don't go with all 125 questions. Only 75% of the questions you can take it. Approximately 90 questions if you are attempting. In that 90 also, all 90 will not be right. I'm taking in that 2/3 of your answers are correct. In the 90, 2/3 is 60 are correct. And 30 are wrong, we can consider. Okay. For every correct answers, I told they will allot 4 marks. So for 60 correct answers, you will get 240. For 30 wrong answer, I told you every wrong answer minus 1 mark. For 30 wrong answer minus 30. Only you attended 90 questions. What will happen to that remaining 35 sir? Nothing will happen because 0 mark. So here you are not going to lose or not going to gain. So 240 minus 30. So your overall mark will come as 210 out of 500. Then ultimately, now what I told for you people, this year I am expecting 210 may be the cut-off marks. Only attended your 90 questions, but you got on or you are qualified in the GPAT examinations. So this is, you may, if you want, if you have on some other score 10, 20 marks more now, you may be get on below year 500. Okay, above 200 you can aim, that is a safe score in this GPAT 2022. Okay, if you want a better marks, try to score 250. So simple strategies, don't try to attempt all questions. If you are confident enough that I'm having 60 or 70 questions are correct, in such cases, to attempt further by luck, I can get it like that. Don't attempt many questions. In case if some of you people know, sir, out of that 125 also only 5 or 10 only I know, then in that case, yes, you can try your luck. All questions you can attempt. So that it's not a problem. But in case if you are having 70 or 80 question confidence or I am right, in that case, don't take risk, my dear students. And this is the logical mark calculation. What will happen if you attended 50 questions? What will happen if you attended 100 questions? When, where I can get on a safe score, sir. Okay. So for example, if taking, you are attempting only 50 questions. Even all 50 questions is right, you may be in the border. 50 into 4, 200, you may be in the border. May you can get score or you may not get the cutoff marks. In case in that sum of wrong, then automatically your score will come down. You may not be qualified. Maybe if your categories are different, that is on a separate condition. Whatever I'm talking is on a general category only. I'm talking, taking that one as on a things. Always we should aim for on a high level. Don't, if you are coming to that rest of categories, don't look that only. You can compete in the general category. Okay, then if you are competing, if you get less mark than the general category, because of your category, you may get your seats, you may qualify. If you are aiming for that, your category itself 150, yes, I'm 150, 150. If you are aiming, it may comes down. Okay, always aim for big. Like that, if you are attempting 70 question, in that 40 are right, 30 are wrong, your net score will become 130. And 80 questions if you are attempting, 55 are right, 25 are wrong, 195, yes, you may little safer. 90 question you are attempting, 60 are wrong, sorry, right, 30 are wrong, your score is 210. In that same 90 question, but you look only 5 questions I varied here, 65 question right answer and 25 wrong answer, you look 235. 5 questions, how much difference you make? 25 marks. That means each one question right 4 marks, if it is wrong -1 mark, so totally 5 marks you can. Like that 100 questions, 75 right and 25 wrong, you may end with on a 275. If all hundreds are right, then your score is 400 and you may be the record breaker of GPAT. So even though what again there also only 80% question attempted only I was keeping here. So don't try to attempt all 125 questions. And 3 hours examination, I told GPAT examination, it is a computer based online test. And those 3 hours I was split into one of 4 phases. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. What are the things we can do in this phase? Okay, first, once you are started answering your questions, that is a first phase. Read that questions. If you are confident enough to answer that particular question, such type of question only you can answer in that particular phase. First question you are reading, don't know answer, leave it. Second question you can go, not know, leave it. Third question you can go, not know, leave it, like that. Fifth question, you know the answer confidently, yes, answer it. Fifth question. 6, 7, not known. 8, you know confidently, yes, answer that question. 9th, 10th, up to 20 you don't know, don't feel, don't get feel. Then 20th question you can answer, like that you can go. At the end of the things, you may answer only 30 questions. Don't worry, my dear student. That is the first phase. That means what? That you give you a clear idea how many correct answers you got written. 30 questions. Yes. Then you come into the second phase. So in the second phase, which type of questions I can attempt? So here we have to apply a elimination method. We should apply some trick. What trick we can follow? So for example, in a biochemistry, I can take on things. Which of the following compounds are homopolysaccharides? The question was, which of the following carbohydrates are homopolysaccharides? Options they are giving us: starch, hyaluronic acid, glycine, stearic acid. Okay, so what you have on a stearic acid, that definitely it is on a fatty acid. They asked about carbohydrates, so we can leave that one. So again, that amino acids, that can also we can leave it. Remaining only 2. You are having a confusion in the 2 only, whether it is a starch or hyaluronic acid. Such type of questions you have to think. That means what? From the 4, if you want to select one, it is difficult. From the 2, if you want to select one, that is easy. So like that, 2 we removed, and only from the 2 we are selecting. So such type of questions, one by one again you can come. Such type of questions you can answer in the second phase. Third phase, logical thinking. Earlier I told 2 options we removed. Now again, when you are coming 2 options, not sir, only 1 option I can remove. Definitely this answer will not be. From the 3 we have to select. In that case, you can apply some logic. Sometimes For a questions you don't know the answers, but for some answers you can frame your questions. So like that, applying a logic, frame your questions for that options and remove that options and answer it. So that is your third phase. And fourth phase, that is a you can generally, I will tell this phase we can skip it, but no sir, I can able to take on a risk means you have to go ahead with your high logic methods. From the 4 you have to select it. And which subjects are how many questions they will ask. Which subject I have to concentrate more. So this is the subject weightage what they are given for GPAT 2021. Definitely for 2022 also the same only they will follow. From pharmaceutical chemistry, that means it includes all your organic chemistry, medicinal chemistry, inorganic chemistry, all chemistries which includes. They will ask 38 questions and each question 4 marks, 152 marks. Like that pharmaceutics, all pharmaceutics, dispensing all those pharmaceutic subjects, what you are studying in your 4 years, 38 questions they will ask, 152 marks. From pharmacology, 28 questions, 112 marks, the questions will come. From pharmacognosy, 10 questions, 40 marks. Other subjects which are not common under these categories, 11 questions they will ask, 144 marks. So total questions is 125 and 500 marks. So this is the subject wise weightage. You look chemistry difficult, then you look how much, almost 30% of the questions are from chemistry, remaining 30% are from pharmaceutics. So 60% from chemistry and pharmaceutics itself. And if you include that ecology, then almost 80% of the questions are over. So this is the weightage of the subjects in GPAT 2022. Chemistry, pharmaceutical chemistry means what subject will include. Pharmaceutics means what? Ecology means which subjects, cognosy and other subjects. So pharmaceutical chemistry which includes physical chemistry, your organic chemistry, and pharmaceutical inorganic chemistry, medicinal chemistry, biochemistry, pharmaceutical analysis. All what you got studied in your first year, pharmaceutical analysis, then that inorganic chemistry in your second sem, biochemistry, and your third sem onwards, that organic chemistry as well as medicinal chemistry, all those things put together. They will ask for 38 questions. From that you can expect and 152 marks. That is 30% of your total marks. Similarly, pharmaceutics, it includes physical pharmacy, pharmaceutics, microbiology, biopharmaceutics, pharmacokinetics, pharmaceutical engineering, dispensing and hospital pharmacy, pharmaceutical management, microbiology. All those things put together can expect 38 questions, 152 marks, again 30% of your total marks. Ecology includes pharmacology, pathophysiology, clinical pharmacy and therapeutics, and expect 112 marks from 28 questions. Pharmacognosy, 10 questions, 40 marks. That's why starting when I was dividing or giving an a weightage subject from easy to tough, I was given a first preference to cognosy. Why? That particular subject, if you studied, you can get on a 40 marks, 10 questions. If you are thorough, 40 marks are in your hand, my dear students. Other subjects includes human anatomy and physiology, pharmaceutical jurisprudence, biotechnology. 11 questions from these, 44 marks. So now I think you can get on some ideas what to do and where you which subject you have to concentrate more, all those things. So till now discussed about GPAT. What is its pattern, what is its format, what is its syllabus, how many questions they can ask from each subject, subject wise weightage, and what is the statistics, How, if I'm scoring this many marks, is it enough? Or if I'm qualified, want to qualify in the GPAT 2022, how much mark I can get, how much mark I can expect, and whether it will be differ from category wise, all those things. Now we are going to discuss about NAIPER. Is there any changes in the format and pattern means? Yes, definitely there is a changes, my dear students, for GPAT and NAIPER. The thing is, both are computer-based online test. And that GPAT is conducted by NTA, National Testing Agency. NAIPER is conducted by National Institute of Pharmacy Education Research. GPAT examination is a 3 hours examination. NAIPER examination is a 2 hour examinations only. Both are, whether it is a GPAT or NAIPER, both the case, we are going to get multiple choice questions only. In case of a GPAT, 125 questions total, but here you look 200 questions. 125 questions you answered in GPAT 3 hours. But in NAIPER, 200 questions you are going to answer, but only 2 hours. 125. Number of questions are less, time more there. Here, number of questions are more, less time. So that is the thing. You should think logically. For each correct answers, 1 mark. 200 questions, 200 marks. NAIPER you are attempting. And each wrong answer, is there any negative mark? Like GPAT examination, here also there is a 25% of the marks are negative. So from 1, 25% is minus 0.25. There is no negative mark in the what is that? And NAIPER if you are not attempted any questions. If I want to get NAIPER, what strategies I can to follow? So told 200 questions in 2 hours. What we should do? There you should answer speedily. Speed is the matter. That is the strategy. How I can answer speed, sir? If you have a thorough basics and basic knowledge, then you can answer speed. And the questions will come such type of questions only, very basic questions and application type of questions only will come in that NAIPER. And in case of a GPAT, there is no GK type of questions, that is general knowledge questions and no aptitude questions, all those things. But in NAIPER, you can expect that there will be a 25 general knowledge questions. Like which day was celebrated as a yoga day? What is the marketed brand of this particular drug molecule? Who is the Nobel Prize winner in pathophysiology in 2021? And who got on a double century in that test? Like that sports related questions, all those questions you can expect in the NAIPER, but it is not in the GPAT. Aptitude questions also they can ask. They will ask about synonyms and acronyms. So this particular slide will give you a comparison between a GPAT and NAIPER. So first starting from the date, generally the GPAT, that the process will start in the month of January, whereas NAIPER, after you got on a GPAT score, then only they will announce. Generally in the month of June they will announce. It is conducted by GPAT is conducted by National Testing Agency. NAIPER is conducted by National Institute of Pharmacy Education and Research. Who are all eligible for GPAT? If you are final year B Pharm students or you are a graduate of B Pharmacy, then you are eligible. For us NAIPER, these two conditions are applicable. Along with that, what? You must be a GPAT qualifier. How much registration fees are? For GPAT, for general category, 2000 rupees. If you are female or if you are belonging to SC, ST or physically handicapped, your registration fee is 1000. For NAIPER, general category 3000, and if you are SC or ST, 1500 rupees. Both GPAT and NAIPER, the type of questions are objective type only, multiple choice only. From out of 4, you have to answer any one. Number of questions in GPAT 125, NAIPER it is 200. Total marks in GPAT is 500 marks, NAPER it is 200 marks. Duration, GPAT is a 3-hour examination, NAPER is a 2-hour examinations. So in GPAT, 3 hours, that is 180 minutes divided by 125. So for every questions for answering, you may get 1.44 minute in GPAT examination. That is approximately 86 seconds you may get. In case of a NAPER, for one question answering only 36 seconds. Think 36 seconds you have to answer for one questions. Negative mark in both the case 25% from the original mark. Negative marks are the monthly stipend. Whether you are a GPAT qualifier or a NAPER qualifier, you can get your 12,400 rupees as a stipend for 2 years till your completion of that PG programs. Syllabus, subject wise syllabus was given, that is based on your BPharm syllabus. Here there is no subject wise. Along with that, you have to answer, have a general knowledge also. Results will be announced with all India rank with what is that NTA score mark also they will give. But in NAPER they will not release that marks, only all India rank they will announce. GPAT score is valid for 3 years. NAPER score is valid for only 1 year. That means if you are qualified GPAT in this 2022, you can use that GPAT score for 2022, 2023 and 2024. Whereas NAPER 2022 you are GPAT qualified and you applied for an NAPER and you qualified in NAPER also. But unfortunately due to some reason if you are not joined, your NAPER score will become invalid. It will not be valid for the next year. But next year you can use your GPAT score for again applying for an NAPER and you have to write that examination, and that time also you must be qualified. So NAPER score is valid only for 1 year. What tips I can give you for getting or qualifying in this GPAT and NAPER? So this is a tips which I will give you for preparing for these competitive examinations. You should study routinely, not so today I will study, 2 days gap I will take, again I can study, not like that. You should be study systematically, daily, every day you should prepare. Depends upon you, but my suggestion is instead of studying on a single subject for continuously for 15 days, 20 days or 1 month, if you are mixing up subject, you may not get a board. No sir, that only is convenient for me means, and then that is also not a problem. Go ahead, my dear students. Yeah, or otherwise, some 1 week, 1 subject, next 1 week, 1 subject. After that, the other subject again. Like that also you can mix your subject and you can study. Understand the concept. That is the major thing. Good concept. Thorough knowledge you must gain. While you are starting preparation, don't rush, my dear students. Like for university examination, okay, citric acid cycle or what is that? Synthesis of phenothiazine. It's like that. Don't go rush your things. Because if you are rushing, you can finish it quickly, but no use. Because long after you have to revise that one, that time you will face some problems. So starting time is a best time to understand the concept. Hence, understand and study even though it is slow. At least 50 questions per day, you can evaluate yourself. Particularly from your last year questions, you can collect it and you can practice it. Prepare your notes. I told you, use your standard textbooks. After studying on any particular topics, prepare a handy notes. What is the use? Again, while revision also I can take a book. So for example, You take on any topic in the medicinal chemistry, anti-neoplastic agents, you studied. If you are taken on any standard textbooks, anti-neoplastic, it may come around minimum of on a 40 page. All those 40 page, if you want to revise during your final examination, final revision time, it is difficult. But in the same 40 page, if you take on a handy notes in a 5 to 7 pages, that revising that 5 to 7 pages are easy. Because whole thing when you are revising, you will miss that important points. Such type of points only they will ask in your examinations. So handy notes will play a major role. Memorize regularly. Yes, I am having a problem in classification remembrance. Then what you do? Every day you can study that one. Make a chart and paste in your room. Look it while you are brushing in the morning. When you are free, that time you can look that one. Then repeatedly when you are seeing, you can able to remember. Last 1 month is only for a revision. Last 15 days, very crucial. Don't study anything new. Only revise last 15 days. And this is the most important point. As a human being, what we will do? Yes. Whether we are doing or not, what our neighbors are doing, what my friend is doing. My friend is going to cinema. Why I have to sit and study? Don't focus on other preparation, my dear students. Focus on yourself. Don't compare with others. And don't get panic before your examination. Just relax, open your mind and give your examinations. Yes, definitely. Now you people may laugh. You can away from your friends as well as mobile, my dear students. Because here I'm telling away from friends means during your preparations I'm telling. Okay, and mobile also. If you are going for study, use the mobile for necessary things. If you are starting your preparation, first switch off your internet. Then you can start preparing. Or if possible, switch off your mobiles. Otherwise, what? That some notification will come from your social medias, or some of your friend may call, hey, what you are doing, whether what's going on like that. So your mood will spoil. So always away from these things during your preparations. Think of your goal. What is your goal? Because if I told now some of your friends are going for movie or something else, their goal may be different. He may be, what is that? Think of that he may plan for some business, something like that. So his goal may be different. But what is your goal? So think of your goal and prepare. When you are in peace of mind, that time only study. When you are in tense, don't start study. When you are in peace of mind, sit in the peaceful places and start study. And this is the most important point I want to tell my dear students. Think of your parents whenever you are studying. Why they send to you, what they are doing for your benefits. Every month they're sending on money, they're paying on a fees. How much efforts they are putting, what they are expecting from you. They're not expecting money, all those things from you. They're expecting you should study well and you should settle well. So think of your parents, automatically you will get on a confidence of studying. And till time I told you people to study, prepare. Can I skip my food? No and never, my dear students. Keep your alarm. Timely you can eat. Otherwise it will spoil your health and that can be even a big problem also. So don't skip your food, my dear students. Eat on time. Schedules. Okay, we prepare a plan. We can't expect all times it may pass or we can get the thing. Sometimes the plan may fail. Okay, don't think of that reschedule. You can go with that schedules, all those things. Or you can get here in your plan itself, you can make a break time. So that time you can utilize for that missed schedules. And okay, whole day you spend there. Morning you studied something. After that you went to your college or institute and you studied. Evening you came and before going to sleep, recall what are all the things you studied. Whether you can able to recall all the important things or not. In case if you are not remembering any one points, don't get panic. Relax, you can sleep it. Next day morning before starting your preparation, take that one and what you have on a missed in that yesterday night, that one you can again learn it. Group discussion, yes, definitely. This is another important thing. So you told away from friends. Away from friends, I told to other activities. For studying purpose, you can discuss with your friends. So if you have a room, some 3 or 4 members are there. If all you people are in a GPAT aspirants, then what you do? Better same topics all you people can prepare. Next day you can discuss it. What I can get, sir, discuss. I already studied that particular topic. You may study it in one angle. The other people may study it in one angle. The question paper setter may set a question in the third angle. So when you are discussing, in case if you missed any points, you can get it. So when you are discussing, you are again recalling like that. So that will give you a confidence. And in case, yes, during a daytime when I'm starting on a preparation, I'm getting feeling sleepy, sir, what I can do? So drink cold water. Cold water means not too cold. Some normal cold water you can drink it and walk for a few minutes. Then you can relieve from your sleepy mood. And revision is more important. That last 1 month in my schedule also I told that will play a crucial role in determining your score. Memory tips, yes. So many classification I was studying, sir. When I was studying, I am remembering, but after sometimes 3 days after I was forgetting. After 1 week, I am unable to remember. So that I will give you on a tips what the things we have to do it. So top of the page of your book or make a handy notes, write a important points. Pharmacology and medicinal chemistry, that both are interrelated subjects. So study these two subjects simultaneously. Study these two subjects simultaneously. Make and paste your charts, flow diagrams, tables, all those things in your rooms. Why? Whenever you are free, at that time we can able to see. When we are looking, we can recall it, and that will be very helpful. Put extra effort for important topics, that is repeatedly question asked topics. Segregate those one and put some extra effort. Solve more and more question paper, particularly calculation based questions. Why, sir, more and more I have to do? Then only you will get on a speed, because the previous slide I showed you how much time you are getting to answer the questions. Almost around 1.5 minutes only. Draw a diagram and link them with the land points. So that is usually we will call that one as a visual memory. Prepare yourself own questions, and you can make a flashcards, charts, and new technologies. Even I am remembering, still I am remembering one of my friends when I was doing my B pharmacy. So that time we don't have these all mobile phones, all those things. What he done now? His name is Mahalingam. Now he was working in Bangalore as a group leader in pharmaceutical industries. Okay, so he taken on a postcard. So that time we use that one for sending an mails. So that postcard, each postcard for each drug molecule. If we taken that one postcard, that particular drug molecule. So for example, paracetamol structure, its nomenclature, its mechanism of action in a simple way, use, any side effects, and which method it was assayed, all those things regarding that particular drug molecule in one postcard. Like that, some 500 or 550 drugs that time he used here 550 postcards. What he will do means now, whenever he was sitting in a class also during a free time, he will take that one and he will look it. When he is going to his native, so that is from our college, it may have some 7 to 8 hours traveling. So that time he take that postcard, some 100 cards, he will look those things. And he got on a GPAT score also. So like that, follow any tricks. What the tricks I can give you for preparing for a GPAT examination. So this is the chart I was prepared for a classification of your carbohydrates. So if you are looking at classification of your carbohydrates, this classification in your book, any standard biochemistry books, if you taken around 20 to 25 pages, this chart will come. That matters will come from a carbohydrate classification and explanation. But only one page that if we made on a chart, in that itself we can get all those things. How that carbohydrates are classified, majorly as a sugar and a non-sugar molecules. On what basis it was classified? Based on solubility, crystalline structure, and taste. Then the sugars are further classified as a two major types: monosaccharides and oligosaccharides. On what basis they get classified? Based on number of sugar molecules which are present. So here you can make a note. Monosaccharide means what? Single sugar molecules. Oligosaccharide means what? Oligo means few. It is made up of a few sugar molecules, like that. Examples, all those things. So in your one charts, so think it. Revising the 20 page is easy, or revising this one page is easy. Again, in that one page, all are important one. 20 pages before the last minute, when you are turning the pages, okay, yes, disaccharide I know, like that you can go ahead, but the important points you may miss. But like that, if you prepared, chart all those things, that will be very, very helpful during your final revision. You can use a mnemonics. What is mnemonics? It is a instructional strategies that was designed to help the students. For what purpose? To improve the memory for important information. So what are all the things we can do it? We can follow a keywords, rhyming words, or we can make it as a acronyms. And for making these things, we can use a pattern of letters, ideas, or association, which is assist in remembering some things. So I will give you some examples of these mnemonics, then you can understand easily. That usage of mnemonics, the same thing what I was discussing earlier, carbohydrates. So classification, that monosaccharide is there, then in that monosaccharide, again based on number of carbon atoms, triose, tetrose, pentose, like that we have so many types will be there. In each types we should remember about examples. How I can remember, sir? So to remember trisaccharides, we should remember the word get. So that each letter indicates one example. G indicates glyceraldehyde. E indicates erythrose. T indicates triose. Okay, so the next case, that is on a pentose and hexose sugar. RAXL Geetham. So how I will usually remember from here? Triose, tetrose, pentose, hexose. Triose, tetrose, pentose, hexose. 4 categories. I will remember this particular word based on institutional background. Get Ramu arrived, RAXL abbreviation. Get Ramu arrived Xmas leave from Geetham. So this first one is on a trisaccharide. Next to 2 are tetrasaccharide. Sorry, triose sugar. Next to 2 are tetrose sugar. These 4 are pentose sugar. R ribose, A arabinose, X xylose, L lixose. This Geetham, 3 G's and 2 A's. Look, after the 3 letter, this 4th letter. Next to 2 letters, that's why 3 G's and 2 A. What is the 3G? Glucose, galactose, glucose. I indicates idose. T indicates talose. A indicates allose. Another A indicates ultrose. M indicates mannose. So like that, which is convenient for you. There is no standard one. Which is convenient and you can remember, that one you can follow. Then that heteropolysaccharides, in that heteropolysaccharides, that the sugar molecules or the repeated sugar molecule which are present is on a different. That we will call it as the same means homopolysaccharide, otherwise heteropolysaccharide. To remember that heteropolysaccharides, there are 5 different heteropolysaccharides. I will remember this one only. Kid hospital. Usually, the kid hospital, the doctor is qualified with MBBS DCH. So that's why I was remembering that one. KH DCH. Kid hospital DCH. K indicates keratin sulfate. H indicates heparin. D indicates dermatin sulfate. C indicates chondroitin sulfate. H indicates hyaluronic acid. And coming to one medicinal chemistry, one example. Sedative hypnotics are broadly classified into 6 major categories. And how I can remember that 6 major categories of a sedative hypnotics? By means of course background we can remember. All you people may aware of that the course BBA and CA course. Okay, for admission into BBA and CA course, that's a BBA CAA, that is Bachelor of Business Administration Chartered Accountant admission. What is that B? Barbiturates. Second B, benzodiazepine. A, acyclic hypnotics containing nitrogen. C, cyclic hypnotics containing nitrogen. A, alcohols and aldehydes. Another A, acetylene derivatives. So in examinations, I am remembered sedative hypnotics, BBA, CAA. If you don't know what is B, no use. So this one for remembering purpose only, but you must know what is that B, what is that A, all those things. Sir, is it for only for chemistry subject? Means no, we can use it for all subject, my dear students. This is one example I was giving from pharmaceutics, that different types of tablets. So you can use here temple or pilgrimage background. Okay, OTTT, that is one time Tirupati travel. What is that O? Oral tablets for ingestion. T, tablets used for oral cavity. Another T, tablets used for special purpose. Another T indicates tablets used in the form of a solution. Like that. In each categories, again, oral tablets for ingestion. Again, I was taken a institutional background. Chennai Medical College campus selection for what? Formulation, research and development by different companies. So Chennai Medical College campus selection for formulation R&D by company. That's a CMC, CS, FRDC. All those things. It will give you a guideline about different oral tablets for ingestion. C, compressible tablets. M, multi-compressed tablets. C, chewable tablets. C, chocolate or sugar coated tablets. S, sustained release tablets. F, film coated tablets. R, repeat action tablets. D, delayed action tablets. C, controlled release tablets. Like that, I can give you many examples. Okay, anyway, I will move into the next part. In chemistry, as a chemist, how we have to study. Always I will tell to my students, try to remember your chemical structure, or at least you can get some major clue for your structure from the name itself. So remember your structure from the name and remember the reagents used for the synthesis from the structure. How, sir? So taking example as a triprolidine. The name itself, it is the tri indicates it is having a 3 cyclic system. You look 1, 2, 3 cyclic structure. And pro, here I was highlighted in your chemical name. That you must remember about pyrrolidine ring system is there. OL indicates presence of a toluene. DINE or INE, that indicates presence of a pyridine ring system. So like that, split your name of the drug molecule. Try 3 cyclic system. What is those 3 cyclic system? One is pyrrolidine, another one is toluene, the third one is pyridine. You look, almost major part of the structure was completed, then you can easily remember. then when the examination, when they are asking which of the following heterocyclic rings are present in tripyrrolidine, that you can easily remember from the option. Pyridine, if they have pyrrolidine is there, both pyridine and pyrrolidine means definitely that will be the answer. So like that, relate to the chemical, what is that, your drug name with the structure. And for the synthesis, you can go on with the structures. Okay, split the structures. 1, 2, 3, 4 parts I was split. This part we are going to link with an pyrrolidine, and we are going to join the things. So look, first part, second part, third part. Try to remember if any name reactions are there. Then you can go with that attaching the next thing with an Grignard reagents, and you can get that tripyrrolidine. So and try to remember that uses. And for mechanism of action, put your schematic representation, and you can study. That will be helpful in your examinations. And metabolisms also make like on a charts, and SCR also make a chart, and that will be useful for revision purpose. And don't just read that MCQs from the book. That will not ensure your success in the GPAT examination. That will work only in a sometimes. These are all the important topics subject wise in pharmaceutics. That all charts you study in Lachman, semi-solids, tablets. In college, all drug molecules, mechanism, drug-drug interactions, and medicinal chemistry, SCR, synthesis, metabolisms, and pharmaceutical analysis, cognition. These are subject-wise important topics. What you should do and what you should not do. Plan your study well, be confident, whatever you studied, revise well, and learn the formulas, make a short notes, make a abbreviation, strengthen your concept, allot some time for your revision. And before your day of examination, sleep well, possible visit your examination center on the previous day itself, and reach your examination center at least 3 hours before, and eat easily digestible foods and fruits. Check your surroundings in your examination hall. Be calm and cool, my dear students. Read questions slowly and carefully. Remember about negative marking. What you should not do. And tomorrow is examination. Today, don't go for a full night study. Don't skip your breakfast or lunch during your examination. Don't reach your exam center last minute. Take whatever the documents which are needed. Don't get tense and panic. And avoid last minute study and revision. Fast answering also avoid. Don't try to attend all 125 questions. Avoid usage of your mobile phones. These are expected dates of GPAT 2022. Actually, here it was mistakenly at 2020. It is 2022. 4th week of December, the application may released, and 4th week of January till that you can register and you can pay your GPAT fee, examination fee. 1st week of February, you can select your city, and any correction is there you can do. And you can get your admit card in the 2nd week of February 2022, and exam date may be around 4th week of February 2022, and the results may be announced in the 1st week of March 2022. So this is some of my students, those who qualified in that GPAT, and his name is Venkat Hari, and who is on a 2nd year. He was D-type, but he never lost confidence. He qualified in a GPAT with a rank of All India rank of 38, and he got admitted in IIT BHU Varanasi. Now he is pursuing his PhD in the Maastricht University in Netherlands. So hard work will never fail, my dear students. All power is within you, my dear students. You can do anything and everything. Nothing is impossible, my dear student. The word itself contains possible. All the best for your GPAT 2022. Obama is retired at 52, but Trump is started at 70 only. Sydney is 3 hours ahead, but that doesn't make Perth slow. Some have graduated at 22, but waited 5 years before securing a good job. Someone may be see you at 25 and died at 50. Another may be see you at 50 but lived for 90 years. Someone is still single while someone else got married. From that, what I am coming to tell. Everyone in the world work based on their time zone. People around you might seem to be ahead of you and some of them behind you, but everyone is running their own race in their own time. Do not envy them and do not mock them. They are in their time zone and you are in yours. Life is about waiting for the right moment to act, my dear student. So relax, you are not early, you are not late, you are very much on time. Yes, thank you one and all. Before concluding, we can do anything we want to do if we stick to it long enough. Yes. Thank you. Any questions? Welcome.
Dear all participants, time for questions. If anybody has any queries, you can ask. You can post the question in the chat box.
If any questions, you can post in the chat box. No questions. Sir, can you give some ideas of which kind of books they can refer?
Yes,
Like
actually, I was mentioned in that slides, but due to the time I was not showing for every subject, there are standard books I was mentioned. So pharmaceutics, you can go ahead with Lackman, Alton, Ansel, Banker, Remington. And similarly for pharmacology, you can refer Rangendale, Tripathi, Lipingard. For classification, there is a pocket book is available with Vikas Sethi. You can use that pocket book for classification of pharmacological drugs. And for medicinal chemistry, Wilson and Giswald, 4A, Dr. V. Alagarsamy. And in medicinal chemistry, how I told for a triprolidine, you can go get for a retrosynthesis. And pharmaceutical analysis, refer Chatwal, Skoog, Villard. And pharmacognosy, refer Trees and Evans, Gogle and Kokate, Gandalwal. And microbiology, Kokare, Pelzar, Bentley's. Biochemistry, U. Satyanarayana, Leninger, A.C. Dub. For clinical pharmacy, Remington, Yadav, Paratkar. And jurisprudence, Agarwal, Uchekar. Physical pharmaceutics, refer CVS Subramaniam, Martin. Organic chemistry, Morrison Boyd, I.L. Finar, S.N. Sanyal, V. Alagarsamy. Biopharmaceutics, Brahmankar, Leon Sergel. Biotechnology, U. Satyanarayana. So these books we can refer.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So now we are moving.
No questions from the audience. So the same video, if you want to refer back, we will be uploading the same video into the YouTube channel, which I have shared into the chat box. If you want to go, you can go through this channel and you can recollect the content which was discussed with your speaker. So, Lakshmi ma'am, you can conclude.
Yes, now it's time for vote of thanks. On behalf of the organizing committee, I, Dr. Lakshmi Sundar, Assistant Professor in Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry, FPH, Ramaya University of Applied Science, express our gratitude. We are thankful to the speaker, Dr. G. Saravanan, for accepting our invitation and for the detailed talk on strategies and study plans for these two important competitive exams, GPAT and NIPER. It was a very detailed information, sir. All the participants, I believe, would have got their doubts clarified and they got all the relevant information for their preparation. Thank you, sir. I also express thanks to our leadership team of Ramaya University of Applied Sciences for their support. Our sincere thanks to Dr. Bharat, Dean, FPH, and Dr. Harish Kumar, Head, Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry, FPH, RUAS for their support and motivation. Our special thanks to Mr. Damodar Nayak, Assistant Professor in Department of Pharmacology, FPH, for his support and coordination in conducting this webinar, and also our other colleagues in FPH. Finally, I take this opportunity to express thanks to all our participants for making this webinar successful. All the very best to all the participants for participating in this event, and also for your continued support for the future event that will be organized our team, and very best wishes to face these competitive exams. Thank you all.